Hi, in this video I'm going to give you some advice and some steps to follow to produce a practice homework assignment. To begin with, let's log into RStudio that you'll find on the front page of your Moodle tab, and just click on the RStudio web server link and you should be able to log in here. I guess it's automatically taking me in here. But this is how it will look when you log into RStudio. Your console area will be where you can type commands and do little computations. So right down here in the bottom I'll do like 2 plus 3, and that's 5. You can do little computations in here, and as well as larger statistical analyses. You will have your homework files and things over in this area, and up in this top area will be data sets and functions and things which you may define. So let's get a practice homework assignment into this area and work on it. The practice homework assignment will be up here in this tab, Statistics Review and RStudio Server, and there is a file right here called R Markdown file for practice homework, and you need to be able to get this set of instructions from Moodle up into your RStudio working area. And so to do that, click on the R Markdown file, and it says, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to open it? Do you want to save it? What do you want to do? And we don't want to open it. You'll be able to look at it later. Make sure you click on Save File and click OK, and that file will go right up here into your downloads area. And that's where we want it. Now go back to RStudio, and over here in the Files tab in the lower right corner, choose Upload and browse on your computer to find that file, and it's in Downloads, Practice Homework Markdown. Click on it, click Open, OK, and it will appear here in your working area in your files. Now you can click on it and open it, and you'll see there's a bunch of things in here. There are gray areas, which are code that will be processed by the R software for doing computations. The typing and the text that's in these white areas is just plain old word processor kind of stuff. Before you can really be effective doing work and executing this document, you do need to have some supplemental R code available for RStudio. And the packages that you're going to need for this assignment, this practice homework, is the knitter package, ggplot2, and ALR4. To make sure these things are all installed and ready to go, you need to go over here to this Packages area tab and click on it, and click on Install, and type in these packages: knitter, ggplot2, and ALR4. I know these are the ones I want because I can see that up here in lines 6, 7, and 8, these are going to be packages that I'm going to want to have available for my work. And so you'll click on Install, and this will update some packages that maybe I've already installed. And you'll notice down here in this lower area in the console, it is installing, a bunch of code is going by, and it's installing these packages. You can tell it's running because there's a little red stop sign in case you wanted to stop this whole process. Now this is going to take several minutes, and just be patient and it'll finish at some point, and when it does we'll resume our investigation. Okay, the installation is done. There's no more processing, and so what we'll do is we'll go back to the Files area so that we can see all of our work, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in this practice homework file. So Lines 6, 7, and 8 will install some extra code needed to do processing and analysis that we'll want to do. We can go in here and we can change our first name in line 19 so that it has our actual name. So I'll do like John Henderson. And then in line 28 to line 34, we see a code block that is going to read in some data from a file on the internet called Camp Lake. And we can just run that little bit of code right here, just clicking on the little green run, and it'll run just this little piece of code. What we should do first, though, is run everything from the beginning. So I'm going to install and make this code available to us by running on the green little arrow, and it has processed the code that was there. You can see in the console it is used these library commands to install that code, so it's available. We'll put this option on the code chunks, and then we'll read in the Camp Lake data. So what I'll do is click on this green run chunk command, and you can see that Camp Lake has come into the data area, and if I click on it I can open it and show you what's inside. We have age, length, and scale ring size for some fish from the Camp Lake body of water. And then in problem 1 it says give a histogram of the bluegills, the length of the bluegills in Camp Lake. And so that'll take this Camp Lake data, and in line 41 it's going to make a histogram of the length variable. And so we can execute that and see what it looks like by clicking on the green run chunk, and we get a histogram of the length of the bluegills. In line 44 it says what is the shape of this distribution? Well, you would type right in here. It says give description here, so we'll type that in here. Is slightly skewed left. There's sort of a little bit of a longer tail coming off to the smaller links, and so that's how I can provide some written comments. In lines 46 to 50, these are just comments in a code block, and if I run them, they won't do anything. They'll just be comments. In line 51, you will see that there are some pink or red dollar signs, and this is for executing math kind of notation. And you can see if I hover the mouse and the cursor over that, you'll see it automatically displays mu equals 155 millimeters in processed typeset math notation. In line 52, 53, and 54, this is going to produce a displayed equation like is right here, the t-statistic. In the next block, you can see you're going to be calculating some averages, storing the average in X bar, calculating a standard deviation of the fish length, and putting that in the standard deviation variable. And I can execute this block right here with the green run button, and here are all the values that were computed in this block. In the next block of code, I'm going to be calculating a p-value using some functions, and I can run that. And then in line 96, I'm going to display that p-value on the screen. And I can't show you that right now, but when we execute the whole file, you'll be able to see it. You can see then that there's another problem where we're going to read in some new data from New York City's air quality. We'll be calculating some things, we'll be making confidence intervals, You can see again that's mathematical notation for a confidence interval formula, and then in here we'll be able to calculate a confidence interval. In line 157 you'll see that the results of this confidence interval are going to get placed into the typeset part of the document. So you notice there's a variable called upper down here, and that's going to be the upper boundary of the confidence interval. And this backtick R upper end backtick is going to place the value of the variable upper in here into the text of the document. And this is going to ultimately make a really nice typeset document that has both statistical output and graphs and our comments intermingled into the file. So let's begin by going up here to this knit button and choose knit to PDF. Let's make a PDF file out of our instructions. And so I've clicked it, and if I look down here in the console you'll see the instructions are processing and it's making a final compiled PDF document that has both the output and my comments. So here's the PDF coming up on the screen. You'll notice it's called Practice Homework. It's John Anderson doing it, and then we start on problem 1. We scroll down and we see the histogram. We see the shape comment that we gave in the white area. We see some displayed equations. And let's go down to the very bottom and show you that output that got put in here. The lower bound for the confidence interval is, and it says 36.859. Well, that's that variable upper that we computed back in this code block, and the value of it is appearing here into the file. That is how we make the PDF file, and it should appear over in this files area. I'm a little bit unsure about why it's there. Let's click on home again, and it sees that it appears now, and we see the practice homework PDF that's sitting there. We could also choose to make a web page if we wanted to, and we would do that by giving a different option on this knit. We would maybe do knit to HTML, and it will process and it'll make a new HTML file over here for us. And there it is, and it appears on the screen as a web page. Everything that we did in the PDF is also here. Either the PDF or the HTML is appropriate for submission. I prefer that you do a PDF, however. So how would you turn this homework assignment in? Well, you need to get this PDF file back on your computer so that it can be uploaded to Moodle. And so to do that, you can click on this checkbox right here and go to the blue More gear and choose Export. And this is going to put this file in your Downloads folder. And you can save the file. You don't need to open it with a PDF viewer. Just save it, and it will go into your Downloads folder on your computer. You can click there and you can see that it's in there. There's our practice homework PDF. Now let's go back to Moodle and go to Practice Homework Upload Here Assignment. Click on it and do Add Submission. And it says it'll take a PDF or an HTML. So what you can do is just drag that file from your Downloads folder and drag it right in this submission area, and click on Save Changes, and your homework has been submitted. If you ever want to put in a new version, you made a mistake and you want to put in something else or add some more comments, just change your mind, you can click on Edit Submission, and you can click on the file that is there and delete it, get it out of there, put in a new version if you want, just like you would. Save your changes and just get out, and you have now turned in a nice practice homework submission. Let me know if you have questions about this.